Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is your host, Abdullah Muslim, and this is your program, Ramadan, Origin, Practice, and Benefit. Origin, Practice, and Benefit. And I've been working towards a point of connecting the illness that I got 2 weeks after Ramadan last year, and how it's helped me, the insight that I got from reading Quran as a result of the habit I've got from reading Quran, and actually taking my time and looking into the Quran and reading it, and then going into the Sunnah and the Hadith. Well, look, Quran's revelation began during the month of Ramadan, when Prophet Muhammad was told by the angel Jibril, Iqra. Now some people say it means read, and others say it means recite. Okay? Not being a fluent Arabic speaker, I can't tell you which is correct, but I can tell you what I do. I'm not presenting myself to you as a scholar. I'm not presenting myself to you as ulama. I'm presenting myself to you as someone who's been practicing, trying to use, not practice, trying to use Islam for 50 years, and found the best change in his life started not just from his niyyah, his intention, when he began to practice it, because there's a certain amount of guidance I received at that point, as we all do. All the people who accept Islam, every single one of them who is sincere, and he takes the shahada, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah, all right? Allah immediately gives him guidance. Allah immediately, not even a nanosecond, less than that. He immediately begins to give him his sense of the guidance that he seeks. And everybody that I've heard, I haven't heard any two stories that are alike. And I've heard thousands. At any rate, what happened is, when I started using Quran, the first time I began to use it properly was during the month of Ramadan, 1975. Ramadan, 1975 was the first year I read the Quran from cover to cover. I didn't just treat the Quran the way the Christians treat the Bible. I didn't go and jump around and just stick with the Psalms. I didn't do that. Or go into Exodus to read the Ten Commandments, Old Testament, New Testament, or Old Testament, or go into the parts with the so-called red letter editions about Prophet Isa. All right, I won't say Jesus, because the word Jesus, there's no J in the language that was used or given to Prophet Jesus' name or Isa's name. All right, J didn't exist. Okay, it was Isa. That was his name in Aramaic, and in a form of Hebrew that is no longer spoken, and in Arabic, Isa. So at any rate, I began to read it, and you have to understand, I've told you this before in previous episodes, that my relationship with my parents, well, they're my mother and my father. And they loved me. They saw me trying to be good, and that's what they appreciated the most. Especially my dad. My dad was in the Army for 26 years. He retired as an officer in the Army. And so he had a strong sense of patriotism towards America. He transferred that to me. And he made it clear that he didn't want to hear nothing that was contrary to that. He was a Christian, and we went to church every Sunday. And when I became a Muslim, my parents didn't say nothing to me, because they thought that being a Muslim was like being a Hindu or a Buddhist. They didn't know nothing about Islam being close to Christianity. When I say close, it is that we believe in Jesus too, or excuse me, Isa, and his mother, Maryam. And we believe that Isa was born by what the Catholic Church calls immaculate conception, born without the help of a man. And I was telling them that. And because some members of the Christian Church don't believe that. And I was telling my parents that, and they said, well, how's that possible? I said, well, how's it possible for us to be here without the help of a mother or a father? Or how is it possible for women to be here without the help of a mother? Okay? Allah says, kun fayakun, be and it is. Look, let me get back to Ramadan here. Because these are the things, the insights, the information that's passed on to you from Quran, from reading it. Practical information and information that deals with the unknowable, the things that cannot be confirmed, and information dealing or passing on to you the information that is things that will be known in the future, such as a child being formed in the womb and looking, as it's written in the Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation, as a leech-like clot, which brought a major medical scientist into Islam, because he said they had no way of knowing that information 1,400 years ago. They had no way of knowing it. And there's a lot of things in the Quran that's like that. Things that are known as far as basic behavior that does not change. Things that are unknown, okay? For instance, Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra, okay? Allah says these are the beginning verses of the Quran, and none but Allah alone knows their meaning. But there are people who say, oh, I know what they mean. You don't. You don't. But there are people who become enamored or trapped by that. Let me move on. So what happens is, I'm talking to my parents, and I tell them, look, they asked me, why did you choose the name Abdullah Hassan Mukmin Muslim over the name that we gave you? And I explained to them what my name means and why I chose it, okay? And the things that had led me up to understanding that I needed guidance that worked. I needed something that had a benefit, something that was tangible, something I could see a change in my life that was taking me away from the cigarettes and the alcohol. I never did drugs. And I never ran with a lot of women. I was not a womanizer. Okay, I got married at an early age, and I've been satisfied with my wife for going on 60 years now. Okay? So all of these things were things that I was trying, not my wife, not 60 years of marriage, or going on 60 years, but the things that were causing me to have problems in my everyday life. And that was because I had been in the military, like my dad. And I had fought in the Vietnam War. My dad fought in World War II, he fought in the Korean War. Okay? Me, my grandfather was in World War I. Me, I was in the Vietnam War. And I don't know who of my ancestors fought in the Civil War, but I was told that there were some. The American Civil War, from 1860 to 1865. So that's the American part of me. But I still had a lot of problems that I didn't like, and Christianity wasn't working. Islam did. I started doing the things from Ramadan 1975 when I read the Quran for the first time, or the Tafsir Quran by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. I started doing the basic things I understood. And what happened was, there was like an immediate change in my life. Now, I'd already been a Muslim for several years. Okay? And what happened was I read it, and I started undoing the things that I had been doing that were wrong. And my life changed immediately. It wasn't like a slow change. It was an immediate change. It was immediate. It was, they have an expression in English, it was so fast it would make your head swim. Well, my head wasn't swimming, But I was amazed. I said, wow. Yeah, wow. Wow, time is up. Time to go. Inshallah, we'll continue this narrative in the next episode. Inshallah, if Allah is pleased. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.